it's me, Lydia. I am back with part 4 of the animated ranking series. Yeah, and I got fun hair going on for the 4th of July. I just got blue in my hair and their feet. One on the list is number 40, and that is Despicable Me. And I give that a 5 out of 10. I really do love the first Despicable Me movie. It is one of my somewhat go-to films when I don't do Disney and Pixar. I've rewatched Despicable Me fairly decent amount, but not over the top. I like all three of like the little girls in it. Gru is a really good villain and like a not a villain at the same time. And the minions can be a little bit too much at time, but the minions are really cute too. So Despicable Me, I would say, is a solid film. Next up is number 39, and it is WreckIt Ralph. And WreckIt Ralph is one of those films that sometimes I really like it, and then other times I really don't care for it. So when I was making this list, it kind of just fell in the middle, just kind of like the same feelings like with Despicable Me. Like there's times where I really like WreckIt Ralph and Despicable Me, but then there's other times where I'm like, I don't really care for him anymore. So that is also a 5 out of 10. And next up is number 38, and that is Mulan. I never watched Mulan when I was younger. I didn't see like Mulan till almost like the release of the live action Mulan. Then I decided to watch the animated one, so I never actually finished the live action one. So if you guys want to see my review on the live action version of Mulan, I will definitely consider rewatching it or watching it all the way through instead of falling asleep like I did. And I can give my just individual, like, I don't know, my review on just that film. But I do really like the animated Mulan. I've watched it, I think, maybe about like 2 times. And I gave it a 5 out of 10. I think Mulan is a very, very strong princess. I would say she's definitely kind of a badass in a way. So Mulan is I don't know, the movie's really good, but she's probably one of my favorite princesses now that I think of it. Next up is number 37, and that is Croods, and I gave Croods a 5 out of 10 as well. Like, when the movie first came out, I really did like Croods, like, a lot, and then I rewatched it, like, over a year ago, and I didn't really, like, care, I really didn't like it, and I got rid of the DVD, and then I found out that was over a year ago, and then the second one came out, and I'm like, oh, and then I got the pack that had the first one and the second one in it, so I do have it. Again, I do like to rewatch it, like, on occasion. It must have just been a bad day when I rewatched it that one time, but Croods is a solid film. I do like the family dynamic. The characters are pretty funny in the film. Next up is number 36, and that is Cars, and I gave Cars a 5.5 out of 10. Most people really don't like the Cars franchise, but the first Cars movie has a kind of a special place in my heart. I was little when the first Cars movie came out, so I was like obsessed with like all the other little kids because I was a little kid. Then I was a tomboy during that time when the movie came out, and I used to rewatch Cars all the time. Like, I would watch it after school. If I wasn't watching cartoons, I would watch Cars. And my bedroom was literally Cars themed at one point. So, yeah, Cars just has it has a special place in my heart, but I didn't watch it for quite a few years after I watched it so much because it got old and I think I burned out the DVD disc because I watched it too much. That, like, I think in just over, like, the past, like, year or two, I bought the DVD again, rewatched it, and I do really like, the simplicity of, like, the first Cars movie. It does lag in the middle of the film, I do gotta say that, but to me, it's kind of a classic film, so it's another solid film. Next up is number 35, and that is How to Train Your Dragons 3. I love the How to Train Your Dragons movies, all three of them. I dressed up as Toothless one year for Halloween. So, and How to Train Your Dragon 3 just wraps up this movie trilogy very well. And you get to meet more dragons. The dragons are all growing. The characters are all grown up. I just can't think of their names. It's been like a while since I've watched the films again, but I do really like How to Train Your Dragons 3. And that is a 5.5 out of 10. Next up is number 34, and that is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and I gave that a 5.5 out of 10 as well. It is one of those films that I do rewatch on occasion, maybe like every couple of years or once. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. Like once a year or something. It is a classic Disney princess movie, Snow White. I don't know, her voice can be a little bit over the top, but she's kind of cute. Just another classic, solid film. I do really like all like the dwarves. If I was gonna be a dwarf, I'd be the happy dwarf, or I could pull off as Dopey too. So I'd probably be happy as a dwarf. So comment down below if you were one of the 7 dwarves, what dwarf do you think you would be? Hold on, let me dog outside. Okay, next up is number 33, and that is Trolls, and I gave that a 5.5 out of 10 as well. When the first Trolls movie came out, I did really like it. For some reason, I do like more of the happy, like almost over the top like films at times, but especially when that came out. But over the years, I have to mentally almost in a way prepare myself to watch like Trolls. I have to be in the right frame of mind. Sometimes all the Trolls, not just Poppy, can be a little bit too much at times and over the top, but the story, I do really like the flow and the pacing of the Trolls movie. So it is another solid film. I do like the music in it, even though people would say it's over the top. I do like that in a way. Keeps me entertained because I'm easily distracted. Ooh, next up is number 32, and I might get bashed for putting this film so low on the list, but it is the original Incredibles. From the very first Incredibles, I gave it a 5.5 out of 10 in this ranking, just because it has a really long, almost like, I would say too long of a run time in my opinion. I think it could have been shortened. And it is not it's like kind of one of my go-to films, but not a lot. And I'm just not really that big into superhero movies. I do like the dynamic between all the family members, like Mr. Incredible, Mrs. Incredible, Violet, Dash, Jack. Yeah, so I do like the family like dynamic more so than like the superhero like aspect of it, but it is a solid film and it does have rewatchability to it. And the final film in part 4 is number 31, and that is Tangled, and I gave that a 6 out of 10. I really liked Tangled a lot when it first came out. I watched a few times all around the time it came out in theaters, And for some odd reason, I just never had the DVD till like maybe about a year or two ago. Probably about 2 years ago, I would say now. I got the DVD and I've watched it maybe like once or twice since. And it's a solid film. It's just not one of my go-to princess movies, but I do like the story and I really like the music in Tangled. So that is all the films in part 4. I'm excited for you guys to see part 5, 6, 7, and 8. Part 8 would be the final one. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up, click that beautiful red subscribe button, and we will see you in part 5. Peace out. Bye. Adios.